Once upon a time, in the village of Okuta, life moved in harmony with the rhythm of nature. The roosters crowed at dawn, farmers worked the fields under the scorching sun, and children ran barefoot through the dusty paths, their laughter ringing through the air. The village was peaceful, surrounded by lush forests and sparkling streams that stretched as far as the eye could see. In this vibrant village lived a young girl named Amanda. She wasn't the type to stand out in a crowd. She was quiet, like the still water of a pond, always noticing the small things that others missed, like the way a leaf fluttered in the breeze or the soft sigh of the wind before the rain. Amanda was often misunderstood as being shy, but those who truly knew her loved her deeply. She had a smile that could brighten even the darkest day, and she always helped others without being asked. Amanda had been raised by her grandmother, Mama Annie, ever since she was a baby. No one knew much about Amanda's parents, there were only whispers. But Amanda never asked. Mama Annie was all the family she needed. Mama Annie was the village healer, a woman with strong hands and an even stronger heart. People came from all over Okuta to seek her help for fevers, broken bones, and countless other troubles. She had a remedy for everything. Amanda spent most of her days helping Mama Annie sort herbs, fetch water, and mix potions. Life was simple, steady, and safe. But one fateful day, everything changed. It was a normal day when Amanda set off to fetch water from the village stream. She balanced an empty clay pot on her head, humming softly to herself as her feet kicked up little clouds of dust. The sunlight filtered through the trees, casting shadows on the earth. Amanda walked the narrow path, thinking it was just another ordinary day. But then she saw something strange: footprints. These weren't like any footprints Amanda had ever seen before. They glowed faintly, like fireflies in the dark. They shimmered on the ground, as though the earth itself was hiding a secret. Amanda froze, her heart pounding in her chest. She looked around, but the forest was empty. Who could have left this? She wondered aloud. Just then, her friend Toby appeared, running toward her, always cheerful and full of mischief. He waved, his fishing net slung over his shoulder. "Amanda, you're staring at the ground like you found gold," he teased, flashing a grin. Amanda blinked and looked down. There, under Toby's feet, were glowing footprints, brighter than the ones she had seen before. 7 steps. 7 glowing steps that trailed behind him like invisible flames. Amanda's breath caught in her throat. What was happening? Toby, noticing her serious face, asked, "What's wrong?" Amanda quickly shook her head. "Nothing," she said, though her voice was small. Toby laughed and ran ahead, his glowing footprints shining in the dust. Amanda stayed frozen, trembling against the clay pot she carried. That night, Amanda couldn't sleep. Toby's glowing footprints haunted her thoughts. Why were they glowing? And why only 7? Little did she know, the glowing footprints held a secret that would change her life and the fate of the entire village forever. 7 days passed. It was a quiet morning in the village when a shocking cry echoed through the air. Amanda was grinding millet when she heard the cries. Her hand trembled as she dropped the pestle. She rushed outside to find a crowd gathered at the edge of the forest. People were speaking in hushed voices, panic in their eyes. Someone whispered that it was an accident. Another person said a tree branch had snapped and crushed someone instantly. Amanda felt as if her feet were glued to the ground. She heard Mama Annie's voice behind her, asking, "Child, what is it?" But Amanda couldn't speak. Her gaze was fixed on the path leading to the forest where she had seen the glowing footprints 7 days earlier. 7 glowing steps. 7 days. The world was about to change forever. Amanda felt as though the world had tilted on its axis. Why Toby? Why me? Her mind raced as grief and fear coiled around her like a snake. That night, Amanda sat outside her grandmother's hut, her knees tucked into her chest. The stars glittered above, but there was no peace in their glow. She couldn't escape the truth that haunted her. The glowing footprints weren't just footprints, they were a countdown, a glimpse into the day someone had left. Amanda felt cursed. Why am I seeing this? What am I supposed to do with it? She thought. She tried to forget about the glowing footprints, but for 2 months, the village mourned Toby's death, and she couldn't escape the images in her mind. And then it happened again. This time, it was her friend Chika. Amanda and Chika were sitting by the stream, washing cassava roots. Chika was Amanda's oldest friend, lively and full of laughter, her voice so loud it could scare birds from the trees. The two girls had spent the day chatting, gossiping, and laughing. When they finished, they gathered water from the stream and began their walk home, still laughing. But Amanda's laughter faded when she saw them. The glowing footprints beneath Chika's feet, flickering faintly, one by one. Amanda's heart twisted as she counted them, 1, 2. Only 2 days left. The glow was faint, but it was there, undeniable. What's wrong, Amanda? Chika asked, noticing her frozen stare. Amanda swallowed hard, her heart pounding like the village drum at sunset. Nothing, she whispered, forcing a smile that felt as thin as dried papyrus. But her mind screamed otherwise. 2 days. Only 2 days. Amanda couldn't stop seeing them, the glowing footprints under Chika's feet, even as they walked side by side. Every step, every laugh, felt like a cruel trick. When they reached the fork in the path, Chika waved goodbye. See you tomorrow. Amanda hesitated. Chika, wait. Chika turned, tilting her head in confusion. What is it? You look like you've seen a ghost. Amanda opened her mouth, then closed it. She took a deep breath and said softly, I don't think you should go to the farm tomorrow. Just stay home. Chika frowned, laughing uneasily. Why? You sound like my mother now. Please, Amanda begged, grabbing her friend's hand. Her voice trembled. Promise me you'll stay home tomorrow. Chika's smile faded. Amanda had never spoken like this before. All right, fine. I'll tell my father I'll help with cassava instead, Chika said. Amanda let out a shaky breath. Thank you. That night, Amanda couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the glowing footprints, the flickering lights, fading with each passing moment. 2 days. She sat outside under the moonlight, her knees hugged to her chest, whispering prayers she wasn't even sure she knew how to say. What if she doesn't listen? What if fate can't be stopped? She wondered. Was I wrong to say something? Or will I regret it forever if I stay silent? The next day, Amanda avoided the usual path near the forest, knowing Chika had stayed home. But dread still clung to her like a heavy cloak. What if something happened anyway? Could changing where you went truly change fate? Hours crawled by. The sun passed through the sky, but Amanda's anxiety never faded. In the evening, she heard it. A scream from the village center. Amanda's blood turned to ice. She sprinted towards the sound, her feet pounding the earth. By the time she reached the market square, a crowd had gathered. Their faces were pale with shock. It's Chika. Someone whispered. Amanda's heart dropped. She pushed through the crowd, her breath catching in her throat. There, on the ground, lay her friend motionless, her basket of cassava roots spilled beside her. The heavy wooden wheels of the trader's wagon had broken loose and flattened her. She wasn't supposed to be here, someone said. Why did she come to the market today? Amanda's knees buckled, and she sank to the ground. I tried to warn her. I tried, she cried, the weight of the glowing footprints crushing her chest. They had never lied. That night, Amanda sat outside her grandmother's hut, staring up at the stars. The weight of her gift pressed on her chest like a stone. I told her to stay home, she whispered to herself. I thought it would help. But faith cannot be fooled. Mama Annie shuffled out of the hut and sat beside Amanda. The two of them sat in silence, the weight of the night's events hanging heavy in the air. Amanda sat in silence, her eyes clouded with worry, until her grandmother spoke softly. Child, what is troubling you? Amanda hesitated, her words caught in her throat. Before we pray, Nana, what if you could see something terrible before it happened? Would you try to stop it? Mama Annie studied her granddaughter closely, her weathered eyes full of wisdom and understanding. That is a heavy burden, Amanda. But you must ask yourself, is it your place to stop it, or to accept it? Amanda looked away, tears burning in her eyes. She didn't have the answer. All she knew was that the glowing footprints had returned, and this time, they had taken her friend Chika. That night, Amanda couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Chika's glowing footprints, faint and flickering like a warning she hadn't understood in time. She had tried to ignore it, to stop herself from looking at people's footprints, but it was impossible. And before she knew it, it had happened again. This time, it was Mama, an older woman from the village. Amanda had been walking back from the stream when she saw Mama ahead, her back bent under the weight of firewood. But it wasn't just the load on Mama's back that caught Amanda's attention, it was the glowing footprints beneath her slow, shuffling steps. They flickered faintly, counting down. 3 steps. 3 days. Amanda's breath caught in her throat. She thought of Chika, of Toby, and now of Mama. This time, she couldn't stay silent. That evening, Amanda visited Mama Udo's hut. She sat cross-legged on the mat, her hands trembling as she spoke. Mama, please don't go to the forest tomorrow or the day after. Mama Udo frowned, setting aside her bowl of ground maize. Why, child? What's wrong? Amanda looked down at her hands, struggling to find the words. I don't know how to explain it, Mama. Just promise me you'll stay home for a few days. Mama Udo sighed, her eyes narrowing as she studied Amanda. But there was affection in her voice as she spoke. You're a good girl, Amanda, but what makes you think I'll listen to this warning? You can't protect everyone.